Husband's 38M, overly friendly coworker, 36F, getting on my 35F nerves. My husband works with a woman whom everyone knows is borderline crazy. He even has said so himself. Now the problem is she keeps trying to have a personal relationship with my husband. She sends him overly friendly messages through his work messenger that I would consider a little flirty for a work setting, lots of emojis or, only because you're my favorite, or, thanks for being my guy, etc. Nothing striking but probably not very professional either. She even made a post on LinkedIn about him, about he is the best part of her day, which is weird and he recognized it and I assume everyone else in the company did too as no one commented to her post. She posted a professional post about another coworker, thanking them for their hard work to which many others from the company also chimed in. My husband is a great guy and I have no distrust in him whatsoever. He hides nothing and anything with a password, I know what it is. So I look past the overly personal messages, but the persistence of this woman is driving me crazy. My husband tries to keep the conversations short and to the point and professional. But anything he says she tries to find a connection. My husband speaks 2 languages and she recently started taking up this second language. She has asked my husband if he would practice with her, to which he replied, sure, which he explained to me was him just yesing her to death. Well, today she started her conversation with him in this second language, very basic, and gladly informed him of her progress and what lessons she was on in this app. To which he kept it short, hoping she would get the point. But what blows my mind is she said, oh, I see you're learning X language. I tried to learn that in X grade 1, never could get the symbols. To which my husband was very confused because he has never tried to learn that language in his life and said as much. This woman searched for him on this language app and found someone with his name and started following this person thinking it was him. She didn't ask if he was on said app or what his username might be, just searched and added who she thought was him and then tried to bring it up in conversation. Now I want to tell this woman off. It's done being cute, it's borderline stalker-ish. It's his job and I do not want to jeopardize his work since he has to interact with this woman. It's not like he can just stop talking to her, they work together. And he already tries to keep the conversations short and to the point. And nothing really amounts to harassment yet, I don't think. How do I handle this situation? Any advice would be much appreciated. Too long did not read. Husband's overly friendly coworker getting on my nerves but can't tell her off because I don't want to jeopardize his job. All you'd be doing by telling this woman off is giving her ammunition to pursue him even harder so she can save him from his controlling wife. He needs to deal with this. These are not your boundaries to set. These are boundaries that your husband needs to set and is failing to sit. She obviously doesn't get the point, so it's time for him to put his big boy pants on and have a direct conversation. Maybe you need to figure out why this is bothering you so much that you think you need to be the one to do something. I get it, it's annoying when another woman is flirting with your man. And it seems like she's really into your husband. But, ultimately, so what? She's not stalking you. So long as he's loyal and honest with you, it doesn't matter what other people are trying to do. Especially when her behavior seems to be harmless. Annoying but harmless. You can go bring him his supposedly forgotten lunchbox to work and make sure she hears you say, loudly, that you brought it over only because he's your favorite, that he is the best part of your day, and that you wanted to thank him for being your guy. Do it with a silly voice. She'll get the message winking face. How do I handle this situation? You tell your husband, point blank, that he's being unprofessional and bringing this situation, that affects you both, on himself by not making it very clear to his colleague that her attentions are totally unwelcome, ideally in a communication copied into HR for his protection. He can block her from any contact outside work. He can just tell her he and his wife have a no work-related conversations once he is no longer at work. He can be polite at work but tell her he likes to keep the conversations focused on work because it's more productive for him. He can also report her inappropriate conduct to HR, but if he keeps engaging with her, it's on him. I think your husband needs to fix this and kinda needs to keep her at a one arm's distance outside work-related stuff, and he needs to quit allowing her to flow with him outside work topics. There is nothing wrong with him telling her she is being too friendly and it's impacting his relationship, and let's keep it to work only. You can't end small talk, but maybe he will cut the weird chase convos out by laying his foot down a little. It's your husband's problem, not yours. Stay out of it. Your husband needs to say the word no. Sorry, no, I can't help you with that. Sorry, no, I can't do that for you. Sorry, no, I can't help you with languages, I don't have the time. etc. etc. He also needs to stop replying to any message she sends him. The only other option is to contact our. He needs to consider what he would want you to do if it were your male coworker acting this way. Often women are considered less threatening, but that does not negate the inappropriate nature of this woman's behavior. She can potentially have serious impact on his job situation, and if she turns her attention to you, as an obstacle to be removed, then she may also have negative impact on you. The fact that you and your husband have to devote any precious time together to concerns about her inappropriate behavior is bad enough in itself. She has already inserted herself into your marriage. He needs to put a stop to it, plain and simple. The only way to end this is for him to stop entertaining her behavior. Yes, she's obviously going to some extreme lengths to forge some type of connection with him, but instead of asking, why is she doing this, you should be asking yourself what he's doing to feed that behavior. Even something as simple as being nice in passing could be perceived as something completely different to her, seeing as she seems a bit unhinged. I'm sure he doesn't want to be cruel to her, but it seems like the clear option is for him to set definitive boundaries and leave no room for her to fabricate. I think your husband needs therapy. Maybe a professional can help him understand boundaries and how to enforce them. Also, this woman sounds creepy. It's your husband's job to handle this shit. You need to tell him it's not cool with you anymore. He can figure out the rest. It's not that hard. Oh. And it's not creepy, it's flirtatious. We know as human beings with that primal thing in the center of us when someone is trying to wiggle their trifling ass in and scoop up our so. Sometimes it's hard for a man to see that it's what a woman is doing, and it's hard for a woman to see what a man is doing, but our girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives can clear it up real fast. Tell him to nip that SHT in the bud now. He shouldn't take issue with it. That's part of being in a committed marriage. You don't allow your spouse to be worried or concerned about another person that's coming around and testing the waters. Unfortunately, the reason this is still happening might be that your husband enjoys the attention at least a little bit. Sounds like she has a major crush on your husband, and she obviously isn't going to be the one to take steps to end it, so your husband is going to have to. It's never easy, but your husband is going to have to start being the bad guy, and being blunt with her whenever she tries to start non-work related conversations. He doesn't have to be rude or mean, especially since they're co-workers and he has to work with her, but he needs to do nothing other than be bland and professional in every interaction. If she asks how his weekend was, he should say it was fine. If she asks for tutoring help with his language, he needs to tell her he is busy and doesn't have time. If she tries to talk about anything personal, he needs to redirect the conversation back to work. Watch those friendly co-workers and absolutely trust your gut. Why can't he just ignore her? I don't understand why he's entertaining it, because this person clearly isn't self-aware enough to read those curt, professional cues. I had a similar issue while still married. A woman he worked with would send flirty messages, try to engage in more personal issues and call at odd hours. Then there was a work function. I arrived a couple of hours in and went looking for my husband. He was with a group of colleagues and their partners. I joined him and we were all chatting. Cue workwoman. She squeezes herself between my husband and another colleague and put her hand on his knee and said to me, "I see you've met my insert name." He laughed it off, but didn't remove her hand or say anything. I was a bit in shock, and decided to head home. Too long did not read. She wasn't the problem, my husband was. Because he refused to set appropriate boundaries or shut down her inappropriate behavior. He needs to make sure all of this is in chat, email and save them. He should tell her that he is busy and can't chit-chat, so keep it all work-related. Don't reply after work hours on any chat program and don't respond to her flirting attempts. She may go bonkers at being ignored, so if she does, he has all the chat logs. If she goes UWU, "Why are you ignoring me, wah?" then he can just tell her he just wants to do his job and keep things strictly work-related. If she goes off the deep end, then I guess it's time to inform a boss or dreaded HR if they are halfway good where he works. It's not on you to, it's for him to. He can still behave professionally whilst being more firm or curt, or yes, even a little rude if necessary. If she's someone that might cause issues, then he should report her behavior onwards and note events down also. You don't do anything. Not your monkey, not your circus. This is totally on your husband. He's going to have to be rude. He needs to stop replying to any message after hours or flirty. He needs to tell her that she needs to step back. Is he comfortable just continuing to handle this by grey rocking? I did agree with the comments saying this is his business to deal with, but I don't agree that he has to do anything if keeping things short and professional is in his comfort zone. There is a real risk to speaking up and turning it into an issue. He's the one who had to decide whether he wants to take on that risk. This is about his work environment. I really don't think your own feelings are material here. It's you are dealing with a creepy guy at work. How would you want your husband to respond? By supporting what you feel is the best sustainable response, or passing you to take the action that makes him feel the best. There is nothing that you personally can do about this person. It can be seen as you harassing or threatening her. This is something that your husband has to personally take care of. The nice way of taking care of it is not working. I don't know why it bothers you, to be honest. If you trust him and it doesn't bother him, then just ignore it and let him handle it. I feel sorry for her more than anything, and I reckon if you view it like that, you'll not be so wound up by it. You're expressing a lot of frustration towards this woman that belongs with your husband instead. He's not setting boundaries with her and she's taking advantage of his hesitance to do so in the name of being nice. It's kind of a bullshit excuse. Setting boundaries is important and healthy. He needs to communicate to her that he doesn't want to be friends outside of work. And then enforce that boundary by politely redirecting every message back to work, or ending it with instructions to reach out with more work stuff. While it's polite to respect other people's relationships, it's not required. It's your partner's job to protect the relationship and set boundaries, and he's slacking. You handle this situation by ignoring it. Your husband is handling it fine. You are understandably annoyed with this girl, but your desire to tell her off is nothing more than a territorial pissing contest. There is literally nothing to be gained by getting yourself involved in this. Let it go. Edit. A lot of people are wildly overreacting to the actual conduct you described here. This woman is annoying, but your husband is handling it professionally and nothing she is doing crosses any actual lines, not anything close to serious enough to get HR involved. If he's not attracted to her or drawn to her, then you don't need to do anything. It sounds like he's already handling it fine. He's remaining professional and keeping conversations short. He's not going to want to report her unless she crosses a line, because that will make him look bad. You definitely posted about this before. I remember all the details and the second language help. It's just not in your post history. The only thing different with this one is just more details about your husband isn't into this. Mostly everyone was telling you this was your husband's issue to deal with. So, why the new post? It's your husband's issue. If it bothers you, then that's between you and your husband, not her. If your husband truly isn't into this woman and doesn't flirtatious engage with her, why does it bother you? Tell him he can file a report with his work if you really want it to stop, but if he doesn't, then that's an issue you have with him. There's nothing you can appropriately do here without just looking like the insane one yourself. Hello, I am sorry that you are going through this. He is the one who can send this woman away, and it would be even more satisfying for you if he did it in person. My husband works with a woman whom everyone knows is borderline crazy. He even has said so himself. Is he the only person who describes her to you like this? Honey, everyone knows that she is crazy, etc. Did you talk to other coworkers and heard their opinions in person? Because when men are flirting with a woman and try to keep it a secret, they describe the other woman as crazy or stupid, etc. to their official partner, but when they are alone they are pursuing or feeling attracted to other women. I hope that this is not the case. First off, you should not be seeing anything work-related unless you work at the same place. This has nothing to do with trust, but company information is not for all to see. Second off, only he can handle this person. You cannot do anything about someone who is in a workplace environment. You are not the mother of your husband. If he has issues, he needs to go to our. Your husband needs to deal with this. He needs to speak with whomever is in charge of him and our. Let them know that she's been making him uncomfortable and has been for a very long time, up to and including attempting to stalk him online foreign language app, and that she's just not getting the hint to not talk to him about anything that's not strictly work related. She's using the work messenger for flirty, inappropriate messages, and she won't leave him alone, and if she's doing this when he's off work as well, he needs to let them know that she's harassing him at home. I don't see what is overly friendly about this. Is it just the app that has you upset, or her saying, "My guy"? This seems like normal friendliness. There's plenty of people in my office that are bubbly like this, and it may be annoying if it's not your vibe, but I'm not understanding what about this is wrong. Your husband needs to talk with our. Even if it's just to have her behavior documented. This is not an issue for you to deal with. Your husband needs to set boundaries, and he obviously hasn't. Now I want to tell this woman off. This is your husband's issue to deal with. She is harassing him and he needs to take it seriously. Unwanted flirting at work will be noticed by others. Stalking him on her off hours on his language app is weird. She is giving his way too much attention and making his work environment uncomfortable. Only because you're my favorite, or, thanks for being my guy. This is creepy to have on a professional website. He needs to bring it to the attention of our. Things like this can go south. I totally see your point, but you still sound a bit controlling. Just saying.